All right, Jesse on Fire, welcome back to the channel. Now we're going to talk about the next chapter in the Jon Jones saga. So it turns out that Jon Jones' fiance has broken she's not coming back. Like as of today, she's not coming back. Jon put a tweet up, which if I remember, I will put up right now. I'll actually read it to you right now. My fiance left me about 2 months ago. Today she finalized that she won't be coming back. If you're a Jon Jones hater, have a toast. I feel like shit. So right out of the gate, I am not a Jon Jones hater, and I don't feel good about that at all. Also, this is not my normal setup. If this is your first time to my channel, I'm in a hotel room. Normally, my setup's much better. Go watch one of my other videos. I always feel like I need to address that because I take a lot of pride in the quality of my work. So, if I'm shooting on a webcam, I'm going to at least call it out. But yeah, I am a million miles from a Jon Jones hater. I really, he hasn't done anything that would put me in a camp where I think he's like a bad guy. I know a lot of people think he is. I don't. I think he's a guy who needs to not drink, at all. Especially based on that video I did. So I did the video last night where the arrest video came out, the badge cam. And it should be clear to anybody who watches that video, watch my reaction to the video. Do I look like someone who hates Jon Jones? I don't. Not at all. And I hope nothing but the best for him. Now, in this particular video, what we're going to talk about is the real reason why she broke it off yesterday, right? Or today, right? She broke it off today. Why? Because I could basically not only tell you why, but I can take that why and then fill in a lot of other blanks too. And then I can also tell you what I think Jon Jones should do, assuming that if he wants to get her back. So basically, if you want her back, this is what you should do. If you don't want her back, then here's what you should do. And you guys can consider that an audition tape for the new channel that Gabrielle and I are going to do that we've been talking about forever, but we really are going to do, where we're going to start a channel and we're going to let people call in and we'll give them advice on situations like this. Because, I am a high-functioning moron in a lot of categories, but I do have a perfect marriage. So, that's not by dumb luck, this is one thing that I understand really well. And it comes down to a single factor, and that will kind of string itself through the central tenets of this story. But that's what the channel is going to be like. So we'll let you know when that's ready. So here's the deal. So here's where we're going to start, right? So why? Why yesterday or today? So today she broke it up. Actually, I just looked, and that tweet is taken down. So he posted it, I responded, and then it's gone. So nonetheless, though, it definitely was up. And that's how I screenshotted it. But why today? Okay. Do I need to tell you guys, or do you already know? Ready? What's different today than yesterday? What's different today or not yet? No. What's different? Yeah, today than, let's call it, a week ago or the week before that. If she's been gone for 2 months, what changed to where today she's like, it's over, it's final, it's over. Okay. Now, I would assume a lot of you have figured this out. Okay. What happened is yesterday, the arrest video came out, right? The video of the arrest from the night where whatever happened with the cops and where she was hurt, whatever that was, the arrest video came out. And I would imagine if she made it final today, then what that means is she saw it, right? She must have seen it. And so that's why. I would say, literally, I would say for sure that's why, because the timing is. But what it also tells you is that whatever happened that night was serious for her. That was trauma for her. It wasn't the next day they're taking pictures, they're doing the PR, he's kissing her on the cheek and all that, and they're taking pictures for the camera, whatever. That's not what that was for her. That was a big deal. One of those things that apparently she doesn't think she can wash off. He hurt her. Now I know when things like that happen, people tend to assume that that's the first time the public's known about it, but there's probably been other things. But I don't know that at all. I don't know that to be true whatsoever. Neither do you. But let's just play it out in both directions, right? So let's say that kind of thing had happened a couple times before when he was wasted, right? Because as we saw in the video last night, that is we're MMA fans. If you watch my channel, then you're a serious MMA fan. A serious MMA fan. Or maybe you just like listening to me talk. But most of us are serious MMA fans. So Jon Jones in public. Even if you even if you don't like him, you've seen enough of him to know that the regular sober Jon Jones is not throwing a girl around, right? Or I could tell you that. I could tell you that for sure. And I was so confident that he wouldn't do that to a girl when that story first came out, before the details came out. So it was like, there were like the kind of bits and pieces where she had like whatever, like there was the arrest, but there were no details about her going downstairs, no details about her face being messed up. It was just like there was some domestic violence thing or whatever. I talked to, I'll keep, their name out of it, just, I mean, it's nothing bad, but like I was talking to someone and I said, I was like, dude, I would bet my life that Jon wouldn't put his hand on a woman. Like I would bet I would bet he wouldn't. And then in hindsight, when the details came out, I realized, I was like, that was a rare error on my part to not consider the fact I've never seen him drunk. And I know a handful of people that are so different when they're drunk versus when they're sober that, I mean, they're a different person, like Jon, as you guys saw last night. I hate you. He's like, is that Jon? Like, that's Jon. That's not Jon Jones. Like that's like this weird wasted version of Jon. Like that's not Jon Jones who's in that video last night, right? Like that's not Jon Jones, which is why I hope he sees it. I mean, I'm sure he's seen videos of himself before, but not like that, man. Crying and shit in front of other men. Like he was in a compromised position. He cried in front of a bunch of men. Like lost his shit completely. I'm gonna tell you right now, you put sober Jon Jones in an environment like that where he's cuffed, or he's in an environment where he can't physically defend himself, and there are guys trying to dominate him like that, dude, you couldn't beat a tear out of him, dude. I don't think. But which again, he's a different person like that. But so let's just assume that the drunk version of him had put a hand on her before, maybe, right? So maybe the fact that this was public is why she was like, she's like, this is different now. Now people know. It's not a secret among our family. Now people know. And I can't deal with the shame of that. I can't be that girl that everybody knows is in an abusive relationship and I just sit around. I can't do it. You're a public figure. You humiliated me. I'm out. That's possible, right? It's kind of like the wife who's married to a prominent guy. The wife knows that he has girls on the side. It's kind of an open secret. She doesn't really care. Don't let it come home. Like if they ever talk about it at all, it's like, don't you ever bring that home. Because she knows he's never going to leave her. She knows that he loves her. He's just has it thrown at him all the time. And it's like, and she kind of is like, what? I don't care. I think about it like he's, rubbing one out basically with some person that doesn't matter. She doesn't really care. But if a scandal blows up and all of a sudden it's at their door, that's different. That's very, very different. Very different. Because now you've humiliated her. Now you've made her look like, you made her look like a fool. And if you think that like public opinion isn't important to every person in the world, if you're a public figure, like everywhere people recognize you, everywhere you go, right? Even if you're the spouse of a public figure, people know you, man. And everywhere you go, you've got that thing in the back of your head. You're like, oh, they might know who I am. And then you're doing the thing where it's like, what do they think about me? Like, what have I said that would shape their opinion of me? And if all of a sudden being married to you has made your public identity something that you're embarrassed of, that is an easy way to lose them forever. Certainly to lose them until that gets washed off somehow. And like the cheating thing, I can't even imagine how many famous dudes have had a don't ask, don't tell situation that blew up on him, and the girl left because she's like, nope, I'm not going to be that girl. And this could be that, right? So that's option one. And then when I actually think that's much less likely though. I think that's significantly less likely based on this, because what I think is extremely likely is that this was a huge escalation from any kind of thing that he had done before. And I'm basing that on the timing of her leaving him being so close to the video coming out. Because if it was just about being embarrassed, the video actually, well, the video might damage that a little bit, I guess, because it's just like, look at how drunk, but it wouldn't, that might even vindicate you a little bit. If your concern is your public image, that video might even vindicate you, because it's like, oh my gosh, look at how out of his mind he was. If he's not drinking, he's a different person. That would almost be vindication. But if that night was significant trauma for her and the kids, that's different. Like if that was a big, big, big escalation, he's never hurt her like that before, and that's like trauma she's been dealing with, and then she saw that video and it brought her back to that night, and all the emotions came back from that. That's what I think that's highly likely, where, she's taking a break. They have kids together. Like here, I'll fast forward a little bit. She can't get rid of him for real. They have kids together. That's the thing. Oh, they've never gotten married? Okay, so you think that a dude and a woman who have been together for the same amount of time and are married but have no kids, you think they have a stronger commitment because they got married? Like, oh yeah, but they're legally married. And they're not even legally married, but they have 3 kids together. Who do you think is more committed? Because there's absolutely no question. That's just, anybody who has kids can tell you that's a piece of paper that is inconvenient to get rid of, potentially expensive. This, you're never, ever getting rid of that person. Your kids are the most important thing in both of your lives. And they've only got 2 parents. They're going to be in their life. You're going to be in their lives forever. It's unavoidable. Even when the kids are adults. My parents got divorced when I was, right when I was graduating college. And, and my brother was just going into college. So we were essentially adults. And we do family reunions together now. This is gnarly for a few years, but now they're both like with other people, and we do family reunions and they hang out. And it's because they're never going to be out of their life. Never. But if that was a significantly traumatic night for her, and then she sees that video, and during the 2 months, she's taking a break, right? She's like, I need to get out of here, right? Like, because he said it, she made it permanent today, which means the circumstances of the 2 months were, I need a break. Like, I need to get out of here. We'll see, right? It was like a trial separation, based on what he said. It's a we'll see, I need some time. Now, this is like one of those things where a person who has like mediocre ability to kind of read these situations will entertain a bunch of things that are not in play, right? Like if you talk to someone all of this comes down to empathy. And the thing that's hilarious to me is, like, I use that word all the time about how I assess these things, how to position an argument that I'm going to make, or how to analyze everyone involved. It's like, you need to be really empathetic and put yourself in their position. And like, I feel like that word gets associated with like being a pussy. And I'm like, what? It's the most gangster thing you can do in the way that I see it. If you can actually understand, the people in all these different environments, if you really understand what they're thinking, what's their driver, what their incentives are, how they're feeling, you can position the way you want to influence them in the absolute most effective possible way. And if you can predict what they're going to do, if you could predict, okay, if I do this, they'll do this. If I do this and I do this and I do this, they'll do that. And then they'll see this. They'll think to themselves this, but I already knew they were going to think that, which is why then I was prepared for, you're thinking like in 7-step chess moves strategically. That all comes from hyper empathy. And so that's what it's all about. Put yourself in their position. Really think about it. Remove yourself entirely from the situation. Like, how would you feel in that situation? And then, now, what do I want to happen? How do I position it? And like, so a person who doesn't do that, like a person who kind of just looks at it surface level and goes, well, maybe she's got another dude. I guarantee a lot of you guys already thought that, right? Like, dude, it's possible she's already got another dude, man. She's been gone. She's been out for 2 months. She's probably got another dude. Think so? No. She got 3 kids, bruh. She got 3 kids. If I was going to guess, I would say at the absolute most, she's had a, like a conversation via messenger that's a millimeter above the level she would have ever let a conversation go while she was together with Jon. And I'm talking like a baby step, right? Where she could tell. Because look, girls are always getting hit on. Always. It's a thing you have to accept. If you're with a hot girl and you're concerned about dudes propositioning them, I mean, you're going to drive yourself crazy. You guys saw how I deal with it. Like, people proposition Gabrielle. They're no threat to me. Of course they're going to proposition her. They would literally amputate one of their arms to have sex with her once. Of course, they can't help themselves. The only time that you need to really watch that is if it's someone that you know, and you see them try to pull some slick shit, like they pull something slick. And if you're smart, you'll always know if they pull some slick shit. And I just cut them out of my life completely. I've done that many times. Just zip. And they don't know why. Like, they're just like, man, I feel like I haven't seen you in a long time. I know, man. Jeez. Totally, dude. We should make some plans. You're never making plans with me. Ever. You sent my wife a text message that looked real slick. Like a, let me just see how she responds to this. Who the fuck do you think you're dealing with, dude? A text message you thought to yourself, like, if he sees this, like let's just see how it goes. Like, if he sees this, then I could totally explain it off like blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh man, you've had your eyes on my wife's ass too much and not so much on me. Because if you were watching me, you'd know there's no slick shit you could pull that I won't know exactly what you're doing. Exactly what you're doing. And that's why you'll never see us, ever. Unless we're at work or whatever, however you're in our life. But so, if someone pulls some slick, now, to be honest with you, as I'm saying this, it's possible that there are no suitors around. Because who's going to pull some slick shit on Jon Jones's fiance? No one is the answer to that question. Unless she's throwing it out there, which she's not. I looked at pictures of her. She's not throwing it out there at anybody. So I bet you, like, most girls will have like a suitor, like people kind of right around that are actually like just kind of people who are cool. Like they're not trying shit, but if all of a sudden you were out of the picture, they would kind of be like, so, hey, they can't help themselves, dude. They literally can't help themselves. It's the exact reason that Epstein was able to trap all these people, because all dudes are slaves to the same thing. They literally can't help themselves. But for her, she might be one of the rare, like, pretty girls that doesn't have anyone hanging around like that. No one. So she would actually have to actively get on, like, Bumble and stuff, And that's not going to be easy for someone who's been together with the dude for 18 years. Like, she's not talking to other dudes. As a matter of fact, she's like, if I even said maybe a baby step. I mean, maybe a baby step. But she's not seeing any other guys. And I know that because I can put myself in her position. And I can also put myself in the position of any of the dudes that would be in her vicinity. They're not trying to send any slick shit to Jon Jones' wife. Are they fucking out of their minds? You can underestimate me. No one's going to fucking underestimate Jon Jones. So, if it's not that, then it's the trauma. That night was so traumatic for her that even, she's taking a break. She's trying to calm down. She's trying to see if she can get over it. And That video comes out and it all comes back. She remembers. She sees him and she knows that guy. Like, we don't know that guy. She fucking knows that guy. She knows that guy real well. And that guy's unpredictable. Like, this is actually, like this right here. Forget I'm even talking about Jon Jones for a second and listen and hear this as fucking clear as I can say anything to anyone ever. Okay? If you're a dude and any girl watching this, comment and validate this. I don't even need to ask you because I already know it. It is what it is. But if you're a dude, there is no thing that is more important for you to understand about women than this, okay? Every woman is biologically programmed to find a dude that will stay with her and that will protect her, that she feels safe with. There's nothing more important than that to a girl. It's like feeling safe with her guy. That's why women are automatically drawn to dangerous dudes, a lot of them. And the women who choose kind of these little beta guys, that's because that's who they feel safe with. Because for whatever reason, how they're wired is like a dude that will match their tone. Like a guy, like if she's one of the ones that, like, usually girls that end up with those guys are kind of like the, come on, and they end up with these dudes who are like, Jesus, man, stand up for yourself, bro. It's because a girl like that, for whatever, she's just wired that where if you're a person that will match her tone, come on, you're like, you come on. That makes them feel less safe. They feel safest with a dude that they can control. But most girls would prefer a dude that they know will protect them. Right? Like, if someone comes after them, the dude's going to protect them. And the worst thing you can do is make your girl feel unsafe for any reason. If you are the reason that she feels unsafe, like, you will shatter your ability to have a good relationship with her. Shatter it all at once. Fucking gone forever. Or at least you'll have to work to put that back together. Because if you think that the only thing that matters is whether a girl stays with you or not, then sure, yeah, you can make a girl feel unsafe, and then she'll stay with you. And she'll stay with you because she's scared. She's afraid to leave. She's now with you because she's afraid of you. No matter what she says, no matter what she does, she's not going to say it to you. She's with you because she's afraid to leave. So it's literally the worst thing you can do. There is no, you can have, like, in terms of, like, your ability to rebuild a solid foundation for your relationship, I actually think that's almost worse than getting caught having an affair. Then you have to rebuild trust. But that's, I don't know, if I had to really think about it and be like, which would be easier to fix, I think that's easier. If you make a girl afraid of you, make her feel unsafe, that's a tough one. And I'm telling you, that's exactly what happened to her. And then she saw that video and it reminded her, the reason she left. Who knows what other things have been going on in their life, but he made her feel unsafe. And then she saw it and it reminded her, and she's like, I'm not coming back. Who knows what's been going on? And she's been gone for 2 months. They made it permanent. There could have been all kinds of things going on. But the timing in relation to that is very telling. Now, what does Jon do, right? So what does he do? It's like, well, first of all, you obviously need to know what does he want? Like, what does Jon Jones want? Does he want her back? Does he want things to be as they were with her? Because if he doesn't want her back, then that's simple. You just take all the emotion out of that relationship. Like, if you don't want her back, there is no reason for you to be angry. There's no reason for you to be upset. You are a partner in the upbringing of your kids, and that's it. Like, you're easy. That doesn't mean you never talk to her. It's just you talk to her like you would talk to, like, Holly Holm, one of your friends, Like, you're just making plans for when to pick them up, when to drop them off, ask her about her life and laugh about it. You don't care what she's doing because it's not your business anymore. That's easy. I mean, maybe not easy emotionally, but that's easy strategy. If you want her back, that is also simple. What you basically need to do, not even basically, exactly what you need to do, is you need to use the fact that she can't get rid of you and you're going to be in their life to get that time to be able to speak to her and be around her. And then you need to start treating her. You need to literally take any emotional baggage that you have, any of it, all of it, anything you think she's ever done to hurt you, anything that you've ever done to hurt her, anything like that. And you need to fucking lock that shit in a box somewhere. Like this is one of the hang on. So you need to lock that away. I'll come back to that in a second. Lock it away. And then you need to start treating her like a single mom that you just met, that you're like, you're super into her. Like you need to reinvent yourself and reinvent your relationship. And like, think about how you talk to a new girl that you're into versus how you talk to a person you've been together with for 16, 17 years or whatever it is. Like, I know Jon Jones has strong game with the girls. Like, Jon Jones, again, that's why I think there's probably some other stuff going on here, because Jon Jones is very impulsive. He's good looking. He's a UFC rich champion, and he's got a silver tongue on that motherfucker, which I imagine he is buried in the ass of many, many, many girls that are not his fiance. But nonetheless, like, you need to treat her like that, like you would a girl you didn't know. And again, when I say bury all that shit, I mean it, dude. Like because how you do that is you avoid talking about any of that stuff. Like, it just doesn't exist. Like, you don't want to talk, like, basically think about her seeing that video and then her having the reaction that she did. She saw that video, she brought her back to that. She feels the thing. She's like, I'm done. Consider any problem you've ever had in your relationship together as a direct connector to an emotional state you do not want her in under any circumstances. So you don't talk about it, you don't bring it up, you don't allude to it, nothing. No matter whether you were mad at her, she was mad at you, that shit does not exist anymore. You put that in a suitcase and you fucking bury it. And if she wants to talk about that stuff, you brush it off the same exact way as you would a girl like that. You go, listen, like, you get serious enough to where she knows you're taking her seriously, but it's light, man. Like, you shouldn't have any conversations that are heavy. Nothing fucking heavy. Because if you properly put this shit away, it shouldn't be heavy. You could tell her that you love her. You could tell her that that's over. You could tell her you're a new person, all of that stuff, but you do it with a smile on your face. You don't make it heavy. Like, she should feel light as a feather interacting with you, not like a person who's carrying around, a car's trunk full of shit every time that she talks to you. Because that trunk full of shit is what's burying you. And even if you got her back, it'll just vomit itself back out. And here's the thing, like, I disagree with how most people deal with this kind of thing. And I think that Gabrielle and my relationship is a pretty strong indicator that what we're doing is right, and anything like that. I mean, we don't have a lot of stuff like that, but stuff from her past, it shit's in the trunk, dude. It's in the trunk. And most people are like, we need to go to therapy. Like, we need to go to therapy. That's what we need to do. And what are you going to do in therapy, man? They're just going to they're going to back the trunk into the car and open it. And you guys are going to talk about it and talk about it and talk about it and talk about it. And you're going to put her in that emotional state. It's like, well, what's your actual goal? Is to get rid of the shit in the trunk, right? Like, you want it gone. So why would you focus all that? I mean, I'm not saying that there's no situation where people can benefit from talk therapy or whatever. It's not for me. It's just not for me. And it's not for Gabrielle either. But and I'm talking as individuals too. But if you want her back, it's not through couples therapy, man. Unless she demands it. because you have to be willing to do whatever she wants to fix it. But if she doesn't demand it, set that shit aside. And after you've had some interactions with her that are light, and don't ever ask her what she's doing. Fucking never. Never ask her what she's doing. Don't ask her about, you saw a dude on her thing, or whatever. Like, that shit is not your business. You play it like a person who's trying to take a girl out. Like, would you ask some new girl that you're interested in, be like, so who are you with last night? You know, a girl that you've taken on like one date. What would you think would happen? They'd be like, what? You're like, I just want to know who you were with, because, you know, like, I thought we had a thing going. Like, I thought we had a thing. So what were you doing? Why weren't you answering my calls? I was calling for 2 days. You didn't answer my calls. What's up? I don't get it. Like, I thought we had a thing. They'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, here, I'm really sorry. Let me call you back, and then they'll block you. You know? You're not asking her what she's doing because you're keeping it light. Anyway, I've been talking for 31 minutes. That's probably enough. I hope that Jon Jones gets what he wants, and I hope she gets what she wants too. They're going to be in each other's life no matter what. So anyway, love you guys. Look out for that new channel with me and Gabrielle. We dropping knowledge like that all the time. Peace.